What's up everybody, it's Luke James, not the singer. If you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. But what I have for you guys today is my review for Mike Willmade's new mixtape, Ransom. If you don't know who Mike Willmade is, he's a super producer who has worked with all kinds of artists, from Miley Cyrus to Young Jeezy. And his production credits are very impressive because he's made a lot of hits. All that said, I was looking forward to checking this mixtape out because I respect the hell out of Mike Willmade as a producer, but most of the beats on here sound the same. I can appreciate trap music for what it is, and I also like that minimalist trap production style and low doses, but there's just not much that sticks out on here. Although Stop Start with Gucci Mane, Chief Keef, and Pee Wee Longway has some piano keys that set it apart, and Screen Door by Bankroll Fresh, who I think sounds kinda dope, is minimalist trap production at its best. I really consider this to be one of those love it or hate it mixtapes. If you don't care about lyricism and content and all you want is some loud trap bangers, you're probably gonna like this. But I'm not even 100% sure about that because this is some of the most generic trap music that I've ever heard. So you might get bored of it quick, especially if you've heard Migos' No Label 2, Future's Monster Mixtape, and Gucci Mane's Brick Factory Volume 1, which are some of the top trap projects this year, and I would say all three of those are easily better and more interesting than this Ransom mixtape. As for those who aren't into trap music or those who dabble in it from time to time, you might like 2 or 3 songs on here just for something loud and bassy to blast, but that's about it. The majority of the beats don't have a lot of flavor to them, and the rapping is just kinda there. Now, of course we don't expect Illmatic rhymes on these trap bangers, but if you're not into average and below average rappers who mumble, yelp, whine, moan, and groan through their verses, this tape isn't gonna be for you. You got Rich Homie Quan singing in Spanish on Hasta Luego, which is actually kind of a catchy song. You got Riff Raff being awful as usual on Choppin' Blades. I Love Mackinnon, I think that's how you say his name, doing his thing on Swerve, which actually has one of the better beats on here. Young Thug being Young Thug on California Rari. And I could go on, but once you see who's featured on this tape, you kinda know what to expect and you know what you're gonna get. But on the positive side, I will say that Future has one of his better verses on California Rari, and Kendrick delivers a great verse on By the World. But that song features Future and Lil Wayne, so the outcome of it is pretty predictable. Also, Big Sean shows off some crazy flow on the intro track, Paradise, and that's one of the more memorable beats because it has these blaring horns that really get you hype. Other than that, there's just not much that's very interesting about this tape. A lot of these beats sound like Mike Willmade scraps, and even though that simplicity is the sound that some people like, I think it's that same simplicity that can also make for a very monotonous and draining listening experience. If you're not a major trap music lover, you'll probably have to sift through this mixtape just to find a couple of songs that you enjoy. But it does fulfill its purpose of delivering some bangers, so I give it a 2.5 out of 5. That's just what I thought about this album as usual. Hit me up in the comments section and let me know what you think. Make sure you do all that other good YouTube and social media stuff where you like, you share, you especially subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.